So before I get into this problem, I just want to go through a quick little spiel that I always like to bring up, especially when we're talking about this. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I asked you to find the first four numbers of the sequence, it was pretty basic, right? The first four numbers, you take 1, 2, 3, 4, plug them in for your variable, and there you go. You're done, right? Plug them in, you evaluate them just kind of like a function, and then you find the value. So it's pretty basic. And from what I've found out is a lot of students, they just like that. In math class, they just want to be told, hey, what do I do? What do I need to follow? And then that's it, right? And you just follow it, and then you're done. But there comes into a little bit of problem, guys, because now what we're going to do, we're actually going to get into a little bit more thinking, which is more keen on what mathematics is all about and what you guys, the reason why you guys are in this class to be able to develop. Because if I just simply just go and show you guys how to do a problem and then just expect you to regurgitate it back to me, we can really teach anybody to go and do that, right? It's not really giving you a meaning of understanding of what's going on. It's pretty much, hey, this is what you do, and you go and do it. So we're going to work on the next type of problems, which are going to be a step above. And I'll kind of explain why it's important for you guys to be able to work to get to that step above, all right? So let's go ahead and take a look at two different jobs, all right? Let's take a look at my job, and then let's take a look at the principal job, all right? Now, and actually, let's look at three jobs. Let's look at, yes, you figured it out?
Well, what's the exclamation mark?
We'll talk about that. So let's take a look at three jobs, actually. So the first job is a janitorial job at this school, all right? So the janitorial job at the school, they have decisions to make, and they have problems they have to solve, right? The problems they have to solve are, one, when cleaning the room, if things are out of order, or how they're going to rearrange the desks, how many times they're going to, which bags they're going to clean, first, and all this kind of stuff. So they have problems that they have to figure out. Obviously, in their day-to-day job, there's going to be problems that are going to arise, correct? Every job, you guys think, even in your life, everybody has a problem that's going to arise, and they have to think through it. However, the difficulty of their problems or the magnitude of their decision making is probably not as high as you could say some other problems. Like, let's say they decide not to clean my room. It's probably going to be bad for them, but is that really going to be a big, huge mistake or a big problem that they did not solve if they forget to clean a room one night? No, that's not really going to be a major decision, right? And there's really not too much thinking. Or let's say they're having a problem, they can't figure out the answer. Usually, if they're not able to figure out the problem or the solution to that, Zach, then it's not going to be that big of a deal. It might be to them keeping their job, but it's not going to be to that big of a deal. Now let's go and take a look at a teacher, all right? So I'm always constantly dealing with problems, dealing with students, dealing with how I'm going to teach a course, and how I'm going to look at kids to be able to make sure they're motivated, like Olivia. And if I'm going to have that, right, you guys can see I'm making decisions every single day, but if I make the wrong decision, maybe I pick a bad lesson or I teach with, that's going to affect the students that were in that classroom that day. But in the overall scheme, I have a whole year to work with you guys, and that's not really going to affect everything, right? Probably my decisions are going to affect more people than maybe a janitorial decision, right? And it maybe will have a bigger impact on you guys than maybe if the janitor has a decision that maybe they didn't clean the classroom. So the decision-making process is making more of an impact, all right? It's kind of like a step above. But then you can even go above me, right? And you can look at the principal or the superintendent. The problems and the decisions they have to make affect a lot of us, right? They affect me. They affect all of you. They're big, complex decisions, right? So now let's go back and look at the tasks. So a janitorial task, you can look at it and say, hey, go to the room, clean off the desk, sweep it up, put everything in there, fill it away, then go to the next classroom. It's pretty basic and easy to understand, right? Right? I think we could probably train all of you to be able to follow that task. Teaching, it's a little bit more complex. You have a little bit more issues that you have to handle with. But in the basics, it's, hey, study a curriculum, get to know it, figure out the best way how you want to teach the instruction, and then teach it to the students, right? I deal with problems and issues that arise, but majority is just going to be affecting you guys. But then you look at the decisions and the choices that a superintendent, they don't have a job, they don't have somebody just saying, hey, this is what you need to do, and just go and do it. They always are trying to solve complex problems to either make the school safe, to make sure you guys are learning the correct information. A superintendent has all of the schools they have to handle to make sure all of the schools are completing. And so my whole little rant, what I'm trying to get with you guys is, what you need to understand is the complexity of the problems is one, yeah, hey, guess what? It's bringing up money, right? You obviously know that the person who cleans the classroom is making less than the superintendent of all the schools. But why are they making more money? Why is it worth more money to pay a superintendent than what the janitor does to keep all the classrooms clean? Well, for one reason is, so far, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been telling you simple tasks. I said, hey, find the first 4 values, you plug them in, and you figure them out. I can probably train a lot of you. I could probably train some students in other classes below this class to be able to do that, right? It's a pretty simple task. However, here's where I'm going to get the money out of you guys, is when you guys now need to be able to formulate this complex thinking to be able to solve the next type of problems, all right? So whatever you guys get to your task, and a lot of students always say in math, you know, just show me what to do and then I'll just do it, all right? But guys, that's like just kind of cheating and it's way out there. And if you just want to have an entry-level job, well, that's what you're going to want to expect. But if you want to grow in any whatever profession that you want to be in, you have to be able to understand, you have to open up to difficult problems, all right? You have to be able to think complexly about how to solve problems. They're not going to be, hey, you do this and then just follow the pathway and that's it. If you want to be that, you're going to be pretty much in a stagnant position. But if you want to be able to grow, we have to learn how to solve complex problems, all right? That's how you're going to increase the amount of money you make. That's how you're going to increase the job, right? The amount of responsibilities and power that you have in whatever profession. We have to be able to grow, all right? So I know some of these problems are going to become difficult, but I just don't want you to quit on them and say, oh, they're just kind of too hard. I'm just kind of finished with them. We got to keep on working and go back in there, because what we're doing is we're formulating your brain to prepare yourself to really come up to the challenge of finding some harder problems, all right? So that was that quick little rant that I always like to tell for each of the classes. So now, ladies